Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today's video, this is not out of the Bible. This is like a supplementary thing that I've been reading. It's just kind of talking about prayer and stuff, but I got to a section that was really interesting. And since we've been talking about prayer in the last few videos, I wanted to bring it up. And basically, it's talking about like three different, I don't know, reasons for prayer, or like three different mechanics they may work. It could be all three, it could be one or two, and I just thought it was a great talking point. And for this video, I would love anybody who watches to comment in the section and let me know your thoughts. Which style of the three do you think it is? Do you think it's a mixture of all three? Everything. But anyways, for the rest of the video, I am just going to talk about, I'm going to read them out and then how I feel about them. So, God's world. So in this view of prayer, God has designed the world to function in a particular way and tends not to tinker with these complex rules every time we pray. So to me, I don't really feel it. This one to me doesn't really make sense. I do understand what it's saying. It's saying that the systems in the world are so complex that, and I shouldn't even say the world, the universe, existence, are so complex that God can't just reach in at any point he wants to and make adjustments, or else it might mess up other things. I feel like that's a human putting their constraints on God, and to me that doesn't make sense. So this one to me, I don't really go with at all. It doesn't resonate with me. God's war. There is an enemy working opposing the work of God. When a child is trafficked, for example, this is not the will of God. This is evil at work. So this one, I think there's more of an argument for. So this basically would come down to the concept of yin and yang. There's always opposing forces in the world, and once again, the universe, existence, life, death, right, darkness, light, that type of thing. And so I guess in this case it would be there's God, there's the devil, or there's some negative entity there's God being pure goodness, and there's another entity being pure evil, and they keep each other balanced. This one, I think if you, as a human, if I observe the world, this one does make a lot of sense. And I know in the comments people have asked me those type of things. How do you know if it's God doing this because it's what's good for you or what's right for you, or it's just some person doing evil? So I think this one there's an argument for. And I think if you would have asked me before I started, probably even a couple months ago, maybe last year, I would have said this was the dominant method. And now I want to read the third method, and then we'll get back to this. So the last method is God's will. Some prayers aren't in line with God's will for us, for the world, and this may feel like the most challenging reason of all. So this is basically what we kind of came to the other day. What RF commented to me is, praying is good because it lets you know what things you're praying for that God supports, and what things you're praying for that God doesn't support and he doesn't really want to encourage in your life. So back to 2 and 3. I used to be very 2. I would have agreed with this strongly. And the reason I don't anymore is I've more gone towards 3. And I think the Bible, to me, so far, the things that I've read, the things that I've shared with you on the channel, I think they support 3 a lot more. They make a lot more sense in the context of the Bible. So the Bible is one reason I feel like it's 3. I don't really feel it's a mixture of 3 and 2. So I don't think God can be at war and also his will, because if it's the case of God's will, which I think it is, then it necessitates that God is all powerful and that there is nothing that God can't control. There's only things that God chooses not to control. So to me, you can't have a mixture of these methods. I think it's only the one, and the one that I would pick would be 3. So to end, the reason for 2, because I feel like I haven't given too good of an example, is if 2 is the case, then to me, the afterlife, or what comes after, you could think of our existence as being kind of like a filtering system, right? It's separating things that go more towards good to the good side, things that go more towards evil to the evil side. And then, yeah, it would just keep going like that. And I mean, a system like that, I don't know. I guess I can't really make a good argument against this. My only thing I can say against this is if this is the case, I'm very curious where the line would be drawn between good and evil. Because without the Bible, humans have certain feelings inside themselves of what are good things and bad things. So maybe human just inside of us innately is what's you're the good side or you're the bad side. And it's kind of like the old saying, whichever dog you feed. If you feed the good dog, you'll go to good. If you go feed the bad dog, you'll go to bad. Um, but something about it is just not as reassuring to me, to be honest. That's my honest opinion. Is I can't really sit here and give a great logical reason why I think it's number three and not number two, but I can say that number three gives me much more assurance. Or it makes me feel much more comfortable. It makes me feel more positive about the outcome of my life, knowing that there's something great, way greater than me, that's like guiding me to happiness. Whereas two is really scary actually because I mean, you could be being guided towards darkness your entire life, and you literally think you're doing the right thing, and then you just end up in like the worst possible place ever. And that is extremely terrifying, and that's why I really hope it's not two, and I do have faith that it is three. But anyways, like I said, I would love to hear what all of you have to say in the comments. I think this is a really, really interesting topic, and I feel like I've learned a lot from questions people have asked, and I've learned even more from like people giving me feedback, like RF answering questions I asked. So I would love to see where all you stand on this topic. But anyways, as always, I love you all, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Take care.